Now.
Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Gamers Assemble.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Pew, pew,
We are
pew.
we are available
Wah.
on. God, he's doing his best to put me off tonight. We are available on Twitch live. If you're watching now, that is what you're watching. We are available on YouTube. We are also available on Spotify and other podcast streaming services for all your podcast needs, desires, and wants in relation to gaming. Okay, tonight I am joined by our resident griefer, lesbian fiction narrator. I nearly said something else. An all-round good time girl. It's Dotted Llama.
Lama. I don't know what you were about to say, but I love it. I'm here for it.
Nearly went horribly wrong. He's Ginger. He's Beardy. He's our techno mage. And Al Creamy fanatic. It's a Beardy gamer. I got him with Al Creamy.
I had a mouthful of tea, and it nearly went everywhere.
Matron.
Everywhere.
Awesome.
Hi, everybody. Before we get going, can I just say that I want to shout out to NCS on Spotify because they have some bops on that playlist. Like, that intro music was playing away, and I'm like, oh yeah, just in the background. So, you should go check it out. I listened to it on the way to work because I'm sad.
Aww. We don't get to hear the intro music. We have to sit over here talking to ourselves like lemons.
Because we're naughty, apparently.
Yeah, we have to mute you.
Yeah. Okay, so tonight I am your host, your friendly neighborhood Tigger.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
So, okay, I hope you are ready to transform and roll out on this episode where we are going to be discussing Xbox Series X versus PS5. What you need to know. Hello, we've got a cat on the cast. He's interested in what we need to know. And what we think so far of the pre-launch information that's out there and what we are going to be ordering. Okay, so we want to hear from you throughout the cast as well. If you're watching this live, put some comments in. We want to hear what you think they're doing well, what you think you want to know more about, and
That was my typing impression.
I love your typing impressions.
That was my typewriter impression.
Oh my god.
We're not old.
Jessica Fletcher. We're going to get to the bottom of this mystery and work out who's doing it best. Do you like that? That was better than what I prepared.
Oh,
That was
see,
good. I like
good.
it.
Good,
Yeah.
good intro
Like a
skills.
professional podcast intro.
Yeah. We totally ad-lib on here, don't we? Massively.
You've set the bar too high for the rest of the episode, though.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. You know, we live in hope. Right.
This episode is starting off like the coronavirus cases in March. We're on a downhill slope.
But are we recording?
We're recording. All the audio is
Yes.
going. We're being saved in the cloud somewhere.
Doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. We're all old.
Yeah.
Welcome to our podcast.
Thanks very much. I dress like a teenager still. It's the last thing I've got left is how I dress, really, to be fair.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that we're all the wrong side of 30, all wearing, like, I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt.
Choose your weapon.
SpongeBob.
She's SpongeBob and you're Choose Your Weapon, so, I mean, we're all just living the geeky dream, so.
And
I'm
why
mature
not?
for my age.
No, sorry.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, but we love you because you're not mature for your age. I'm sure you're
I'll take
mature.
that. I'll take that.
I'm sure you're mature when it counts.
I wouldn't get your hopes up.
Oh, okay, right, okay. Right, let's move on straight into our topic today. So, in the PlayStation corner, we've got Beardy, who's going to be giving us all the facts. In the Xbox corner, we've got Llama, who's going to be giving us all the facts. I'm going to be your independent adjudicator. See that?
That was a good word. I like it. Well
Yeah.
done.
It's a big word for me. Right, okay, so I had the dictionary out last night. I was like, what can I say?
just
What-
just
what
right
am
just like right clicking and looking for suggestions like thesaurus.
Can we do it like every British panel show though, where like you randomly give us points and at the end somebody gets to randomly win?
I don't think I have anything to write down points on, so it'll have to be. Hang on, let me just
I'll
see.
just make mine up and I'm gonna go ahead and declare that I win.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. Right, we play fair here, Llama.
Oh, that's fair. I told you beforehand.
Well, they did introduce you.
Surprise!
I told you at
did
the
introduce
beginning
you.
I win.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's move swiftly on. Okay, so tech specs. Beardy, hit us with the PS5 tech specs.
Well, so we got two SKUs on the PlayStation 5 front. We got the discless chunky boy with all the curves and swerves, and then we got the digital edition. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Digital edition's not got any junk in its trunk. So, starting out with the optical drives, we're going to be having a 4K UHD Blu-ray on the old chunky boy, but the digital edition doesn't have one. RAM, you're looking at 16 gigabytes of GDDR6. CPU, we've got 8 Zen 2 cores at 3.5 hertz, and a custom AMD NVDA Navi 10.28 gigaflops. 36
Ooh,
CUs
dang.
at 2.23 gigahertz.
I love gigaflops.
It's capable of its ray tracing, which is going to give you some nice lighting effects. 3D audio via the new Tempest engine, which I'm really interested because Mark Cerny was talking about getting inside your ears and taking photos of your holes so you can get the sound in there. That's going to be really exciting. Data speeds. Now this is the thing that I'm really interested in for this next gen, is these custom SSDs that these two machines is running. And I reckon on this front, PlayStation's probably a little bit ahead on the game. So they've got a custom NVMe SSD which is running at 5.5 gigabytes per second in raw data and 8 to 9 gigabytes in compressed data, which is pretty fucking impressive. Storage wise, bit slim on this one. It's 825 gigabytes, but there is an NVMe SSD slot which you can upgrade to, and it comes with support for USB HDDs. Video output 4K standard, 120 frames per second. I'm guessing it's going to be in optimized mode, but it has got 8K support. So, you know, if you're rich with too much freaking money, then you can have your 8Ks on there as well as your 4Ks and your 2Ks. All the Ks.
Yeah, I don't think we're
can't imagine
ready
that
to
one,
go
though.
to 8K. It's so expensive.
But like 4K is super sharp. I don't know if I can handle 8K. It might be too much for my tiny brain.
Girl, believe it or not, I don't even have 4K yet. I'm gonna do like a little upgrade just before I get my console. So
From like a cathode ray tube straight up to an 8K.
It still blooms at the
Okay.
back when you turn it on. Boom.
Jesus. I did introduce you as a resident griefer, didn't I? Griefing me. I'm supposed to grief the host. Right. Okay. Llama Xbox. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Well, I will start off with the big boy. So the Xbox Series X. This one is amazing. It's got the 4K Blu-ray optical drive on it. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM. CPU's 8-core at 3.8 gigahertz, which makes it better than the PlayStation 5. Just point that out right there. It's got a load of extra stuff in it. You know, I'm reading this. I haven't. So it's got the custom AMD Radeon RDNA Navi 12 teraflops, 52 CUs at 1.85 gigahertz. And if you hit that at 88 miles an hour, you will go back in time. That's what it says in my notes.
Where did you get your tech specs from?
Beardy wrote them for me because I'm lazy. So the data speed is 2.4 gigabits per second raw, and you can compress it to 4.8 gigabits per second. 1 terabyte of storage. Now, the exciting thing on this one is that it's got the proprietary 1 terabyte SSD expansion card and USB HDD, which means if a terabyte isn't enough, you can expand it again and again and again and basically have as much storage as you want, which sometimes, depending on the size of the games, you're gonna need, girl. And then the video output, yeah, it's 4K, 120 frames per second with 8K support. So that one, I think we can all agree is better than the PlayStation 5. So I win.
I mean,
Next
listen,
podcast.
just because you've got all the teraflops, this is an age-old saying, yeah? Just because you've got a lot of teraflops doesn't mean you know how to use them, and I think PlayStation has shown it can use its 10 teraflops much better than your big 12 teraflops.
Well, you say that, but the Xbox, now they've come out with this new proprietary thing called the velocity architecture. So that's on the SSD that it keeps on board. And what that allows it to do is it offloads the processing power that it needs to do the loading screens, which means instead of waiting nearly 2 minutes to load into Destiny, it does it in something ridiculous, like 30 seconds. I made that
Wow.
up, but it's less
Yeah.
than what it is. So it's just, it offloads all that extra processing power that it doesn't need, and you can just instantly go in and out of games like boom, 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 boom. I want to play this, change my mind. I'm gonna play this, change my mind. You can change your mind all you want. Xbox has got you, girl. It's fine.
Okay, I've got some questions.
Don't
because-
ask questions because I don't have that much knowledge. No questions.
So, PS5, true 4K or this weird 4K that they did last gen?
So, as far as I'm aware, it's true 4K.
I think everything I've seen is the true 4K.
Yeah, there's been nothing that indicates it's otherwise, and I think when you look at the specs for the two GPUs for the PlayStation 5 and for the Xbox Series X, you know, they're running at the same thing. The difference is like 1.782 teraflops. So there's like a tiny bit of difference between them. So I think it's going to be true 4K. I would imagine that the 8K potentially on both consoles could be some sort of up-resing thing and not actually true 8K.
But you're never gonna know because none of us can 8K. So
Well, what about halfway
I mean-
through the cycle, Xbox just bring out another one, another Xbox
like
Series
DJ Khaled.
SX RD ROM.
Listen, I mean, Xbox can bring out another iteration, but let's be honest, like, when they just put the pre-orders up for the Series X, they had the biggest day on sales for the Xbox One X, so maybe their naming convention needs to, like, change a little bit before they confuse people even more.
I think it was
Or-
740% increase in
crazy, isn't
sales
it?
on Amazon on my brother sent it to me. So if you're watching Clunge Muffin, this one goes
Plunge
to
Muffin, my
So,
favorite fan.
you. 740% increase in one day. But let's face it, the Xbox One X, which is what I have, is more power in it than an Xbox Series S. So why would you buy why make a Series S in the first place? Like, this is what I don't understand. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't know is the answer. I'm sure they have a plan. But I think the best part of this whole console piece on the Xbox is that I don't need to get the new console because my One X will handle everything that it's going to throw at it. The load screens are slightly longer and my fan is slightly louder, but like I can deal with that. I'm a big girl. And if I don't want to play on my console, Microsoft now says you don't even need our consoles. Like, here's one, but also none. Like, take the Game Pass Ultimate and you can play on your gaming rig, on your PC. And that, I think, means that in the future, because they're gaming as a service instead of as a console based where you've got to get the next new console, which my wife hates because they're never on sale. I
I
can
thought
just
everything was always on sale, Llama.
man, it gets over 200 pounds, it's not on sale. That's the rule. But it means that you can just put it on your computer, and we've all got computers. Like that's, and you know, you don't have to spend that much to get a really powerful gaming rig.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I think Xbox wins that part for me.
I think just very quickly, because I don't think we said this beforehand, like we are going to be like pretend griefing each other, like, but we're not in one camp or the other. Like I have an Xbox and PlayStation. Like Llama plays
Me
both, Tiggs plays both, but we're pretend taking sides here at the minute. But to take my pretend PlayStation fanboy hat off for a second, I reckon the Series X is for those people that do want to kind of put their toes into the next gen of gaming and not have to put out a massive amount of money. The specs for it are less than the Series X, but for 300, what is it, like $300 or something?
$299, yeah.
Oh, £259 for a console for next gen. That's a pretty good like entry point, but we'll get into price and stuff later. I think the Series S is that incremental bit between like the Xbox One and the next gen, and it's been put there as more of a machine to sell Game Pass, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
get a cheap
And I
console,
don't like the
get your
box.
Game Packs, get your Game Pass, and you're ready for next gen.
Okay, so I think winner on tech specs, Xbox.
Well, we already declared me winning before we started, Sir Adjudicator, so we can just carry on.
Oh, girl.
Technically,
Sorry, I just need to leave now.
technically on the specs, Xbox has won this one, but like I said, it don't know how to use its teraflops.
But only by a little bit, to be fair. The specs are quite close between
Hey,
the two.
can I just say 1.72 teraflops sometimes makes a difference between a moan and a groan.
Yeah.
And let's move on.
That's
The next thing.
because the Xbox Series X is going to be groaning its way, like powering up. And, oh, I'm not very good at this. Oh. Whereas the PlayStation's going to turn it on. It's going to be like, oh yeah, ready to go.
I have to say, like, the PlayStation got griefed for like the look of the console, right? You know, especially with the one with the disc drive. It's got a little bump on it.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty sexy. Like, I was like, oh my god, it's so slick. It looks like something you'd see in like a futuristic, like on a spaceship or something. It would just be
Yeah,
part
I
of the
kind
tech.
of like it.
I genuinely,
sexy.
I like both console designs. I think the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 both look like what I would expect from a next gen console. Like, this is the next how it's gonna look, and I think both of them nailed it on that front. I like PlayStation swerves and curves, and I like Xbox's like little cheeky, it's just a freaking box. Like, it is
Yeah.
a box. Like, love it.
I
Love
just
about
wish
it.
Xbox would do a box that is in the shape of an X. That would be amazing.
What was the one? Was it Project Scorpio that they came out with that was leaked a couple years ago? That clearly didn't happen.
That
But
was
the
the
form factor for that looked amazing.
Oh,
That was the Xbox One X, because I've got a Project Scorpio edition. Got a day one release.
Oh, well, what's the one? It looked like a pastry.
You're thinking about the dev kits for the PlayStation 5. It looked like a big chunky V. Like,
I'm not thinking about that, but
No?
that also looked cool.
I
Yeah.
did see
I'll have
that.
to find it. It was an old Xbox when they were like, could this be the next generation Xbox? And it was about 2 years ago. And it looked like a big silver and black bear claw pastry with like the plastic like curved up on itself like a croissant.
That would be amazing.
I'm
I
feeling
think
hungry.
Are you hungry? Have you had tea?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm just old and hungry.
Oh God, you're really on the old front today. Can we stop talking about how old we are? We're not old. We're young at heart. Right. Okay. So let's move on. Next piece of information we want to know is what is our price and what's the pre-order availability and when are we coming out? Well, we've been out for a long time
I've been
now.
out
I
for
mean,
so long.
yeah, I've been out longer than I've been in at this point.
I've been out since dial-up internet.
So have I! Whoa! For those of you that don't know what that is, Google it and laugh at us.
Mum, get off the phone. Okay, so for PlayStation 5, release date wise, we're looking at November 12th in selected countries. So it's kind of like the Americas, Canada, I think a few places around there. And then everywhere else, November 19th, worldwide. Big launch. That's when I'm getting mine. Price wise.
Oh, he slid that in there, didn't he? He slid that in
He
there. That's why I'm
did,
getting
yeah.
mine. Oh, I could pre-order.
Price wise, it's pretty much the same across the board for between it and the Series X. So you're looking at $499 or £449 or €499 for the curvy swervy version, or if you're going to go digital only, it's $399 or £359 or €399. Is it available for pre-order? Well, it was, but it's now sold out and you can't get any of them anywhere. They're supposed to be bringing out some new dates for new pre-order stuff, but yeah, there was a thing today that was saying that some people's pre-orders have been postponed till 2021 because retailers have oversold the pre-orders and stuff.
How angry would you be?
Yeah,
Oh.
but I mean, touch wood. I mean, we covered it in a few episodes ago, but I played the refresh game on the morning of the 17th. I managed to get myself a PlayStation 5 pre-order. I've not had the email of doom and gloom saying, oh, actually, we probably won't be able to get this to you. And I think by this point, I probably would have had that email. So I think I'm okay.
Oh, I got my fingers crossed for you.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Llama, Xbox?
So the Xbox is priced fairly similarly, especially between the X and the S. So the X, so the big chunky boy, is $499 US, 449 British pounds, and 499 euros. And if you want to go with the slightly scaled down version of the S, that is $299, 249 pounds, and 299 euros. I feel like the exchange rate, like they've not got that right.
They never get it right.
It should be way cheaper than 249 pounds.
I so agree. We get penalised here. Just out of curiosity, has anybody checked what the current price is for an Xbox One X?
No.
Let me just Google that now. I'm quite interested.
Alexa, Google that.
I just wondering what the price point difference is between the two.
Yeah, I think, you know, when they said that it went up like 700 and something percent, the sales of the One X, I do wonder how much of that is people accidentally buying the wrong one, because let's face it, the naming convention for Xbox is shit. Like, I don't know who came up with that, but it was terrible. But also, maybe if the Xbox One X has gone down in price because the new gen is out, but it still covers all the next gen games, maybe that is the better buy.
Maybe. £367 for an Xbox One X on Amazon currently. So there's not 100
It's more
quid
expensive than
difference.
the S.
Yeah.
I can't see the One X dropping in price that much. Sorry. Yeah, One X. Because I got
so
the
confused.
because they've recently announced that they're stopping making them. So eventually what's going to happen is you can only get the Xbox One, Series S or Series... Oh, I just knocked my drink over. Oopsie.
Oh no! Technical glitch.
Oh, on his keyboard as
Right
well.
into the keyboard.
Oh,
Bear with.
Girl, you deal with that. We'll keep talking.
Let's keep talking. Oh, so they're
Right?
going to stop making them? I can't believe that.
We need to start drinking in sippy cups, because that's like the third time we've spilled a drink during the podcast.
Well, luckily enough, it's usually before we go live. So, yeah. Yes, off the keyboard. Bad times.
Oh,
Hi, just
So-
another blue. Thanks for joining us.
oh, and we've got Bot on as well. And Sif. Oh, it's nice to see the podcast fam.
The podcast band.
Yeah, so
Just Another Blue did make it in time.
as I was
Welcome,
saying,
Just Another Blue.
just excuse me with my paper as I just do a little bit of drying.
You got too excited. That's what the problem was.
So
it wasn't water.
They're stopping the production of the Xbox One X, so I can't see them dropping price until maybe the retailers get down to the last few units, and maybe they just drop the price to get them out the door.
Yeah, I could see that.
And
That's how I'd do it.
everything's totally backwards compatible, yeah?
Yes, so it's all backwards compatible and forwards compatible. So the new games that come out will be able to run on your Xbox One X. And as I said, they're also we've got the Game Pass option. We'll talk about Game Pass later, won't we? I don't want to jump the gun.
Spoilers.
I know. Sorry, guys.
Hold your horses.
Surprise! Yeah, and the release date for this one is November 10th. Pre-orders are in existence, but not available. I don't think they're still out. I think everybody's sold out.
Well,
So
the Series X is the Series S is still available.
Yeah, but nobody wants that. Don't buy that.
Well, that's why it's still available.
ooh,
You've
I
heard
thought
it
we
here
were
first.
staying-
Don't
I thought
buy
we
it.
were staying neutral here.
I don't know why I care. I don't really care. Just want to have a strong opinion about something.
No, it's fine. I'm happy. I like strong opinions. It's good. So, yeah, what do we think about the pre-orders whenever they went up? How did they do that? I don't think PlayStation did it very well. Some people broke release dates.
It was a mess, wasn't it?
There was just a panic online everywhere, and every piece of social media you went on to going, oh shit, they're up. I won't get one, and all this panic.
I think they were exact copies of each other in terms of how the whole pre-order thing went. I think they did exactly the same thing. It happened exactly the same way. The dates got leaked. There wasn't enough in stock. Everybody's panicking, playing the refresh game. Some people got one and some people didn't, and it's just, I don't know how you can make it better.
But
But it
I
just seems
heard
like there must be a better way.
a little piece of random information. I can't remember where I read this now, so source unverified. Was that Xbox actually, Microsoft had a little green. They give everybody the green light to launch their pre-orders, and they weren't allowed to launch them until they were given the green light. And if they did, they would penalize them or just pull pre-orders for them or something like that. There'd be some sort of penalty for them if they did. So I think. Not sure how true that is. It could have just been one of these things that you read on Facebook and think, oh, that's real.
Yeah.
But if they did do that, they were quite clever, because I didn't hear that much uproar whenever the Xbox Series X launched, as opposed to whenever the PlayStation launched, because it was over like a few days whenever the PlayStation launched, and everybody was like, oh, shit, it's live now. It's not supposed to be live. And then, because Sony didn't say in their press release when they were making it live, and that was their big mistake.
So
They didn't
I'm gonna
say.
give you the tea. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Girl, go.
Xbox may have given the times, given the dates, given the green thumbs up, the green X of approval for those stores to put up their pre-orders, but you still couldn't fucking get one. Because sites crashed,
yeah.
Microsoft's site went down, Amazon was showing puppies, like, it was a mess. Just like...
Hang, Amazon was showing puppies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when Amazon has an error now, it just
It
shows you
just
pictures of
shows you a
puppies.
picture of a puppy.
Oh,
It
come
does
on.
calm me down. I'll give them
Yeah.
that. It's a good strategy.
So...
Can we
We
all
fucked up,
try
there's a
and
puppy.
order 100 million of the same thing tonight, and
Yeah.
so I get the puppy screen, because I've not seen it yet.
Yeah. So...
Oh.
So Xbox had just as bad of an experience when it came to pre-ordering as PlayStation did. Despite the fact that they were like, hey, we're going to let you know and we're going to make this nice and easy and smooth. At this moment in time, there is no way for you to pre-order something that's going to be as in higher demand as a PlayStation or as an Xbox without it getting fucked up. On the
I mean, you
PlayStation
could-
side of things,
You could cut a bitch.
yeah, I mean, they fucked the PlayStation really fucked things up, but I think this is one of those perfect storm situations. I don't think that Sony was ready to do what it did when it did it. So when you look at the press conference that kind of revealed the price and everything else, all those games that they showed beforehand, there was no like coming this time, coming on this date, or whatever it was. It was just, here's the trailer, a little bit of hype, here's the trailer. And even when they cut to people that were in development for these games, they weren't like, we're so excited to bring this game to you on launch day or anything like that. It was all very kind of skirting around the edge and everything else. And I think it was Jim Ryan was on there as well. I forgot now what his name was. And even he was talking about the next generation and stuff, and made no indication of things being launch titles or anything like that. And then you get to the end of the video and it's like, here's the PlayStation, here's the price, here's the date. I think that they've had this ready to go for a while and just left the dates and times out of there because they were waiting on Xbox and this whole chicken situation with price and release date. I think they put it out, I think they rushed to put it out, and I think they rushed to get their pre-orders up, and I think in all of the confusion and everything else, to try and beat Xbox to market in terms of pre-orders, the message got screwed. And I think that's why it leaked early and it didn't go up, or it did go up, or anything like that. But having said that, even if PlayStation had come out a week before and gone, hey, it's going to be the 17th of September and it's going to be at this time, there would have still been chaos and you still wouldn't have been able to get one.
Very true.
Fair.
The one good thing that I do like about PlayStation's launches is they always have like a really catchy song whenever they're doing like their gameplay slash FMVs like sort of edit at the end. And I obviously had to put that song on my Amazon Prime Music straight away and listen to it the same way as I did with the other one from the other one, and I still listen to them and bop around the house. So they're absolutely amazing. I don't know, there's just something about them that makes you want to, it just makes you feel powerful to be a gamer. Like, I don't know, the way they cut the clips to the words in the song and they slightly like change like the bass and stuff in the song to complement some of the sounds from the game, like the whole thing, and you're just like, oh my god, it's awesome being a gamer, fuck yeah.
And that's the power of 10.23 teraflops.
get your teraflops out.
Yeah. See, Sony knows how to use its teraflops.
Teraflop usage is important.
I think that we're going to call the prices and release dates a bit of a draw, really, because I think they both haven't done it very well.
But hang on a minute.
Oh, we've got an objection.
I object. I think that the PlayStation's won on this one. Purely because...
Even after they fucked it up.
Even after they fucked up and everything else, but purely because they have a true next-gen console with all the 4Ks and the teraflops and everything else for the cheapest amount. I think that's why they win.
What's the price point on the PlayStation 5?
Let me just check.
So the PlayStation 5 cheapest entry is $399 or £359 or €399, and that's a true next-gen 4K, 8K, NVMe, all the 10 teraflops, blah blah blah. Xbox's cheapest console is capped at 1440p.
Okay,
so...
wait. Counterpoint, right? So on price point, yes. However, the staggered release date, oh girl, what are they doing? Because as we all know, that pisses people off because now everything is so global and we're so connected, we expect release dates to be at the same time globally to avoid spoilers, to avoid whatever else.
Consoles have always been in two waves.
You
look at the PlayStation, you look at the PlayStation 4. Well, we're in a COVID world, so I'm surprised we didn't get 3 dates.
But just
and then we're not allowed to play with friends of more than 6 at a time.
Yeah,
we're not allowed to play. We're not allowed to play with friends at all. No, nearly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the release date of this is probably them rushing to get it as close to the 10th of November as possible.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. That makes it a draw. Just because they've always done double release dates doesn't mean to say that that's the right thing to do.
I do hate a double release date. You're right. It's a
it's
global
because
world.
it's because right. So they're all coming from Japan.
So
Yeah, so it only takes like a few days to get from Japan to America, but it takes longer to get from Japan to Europe.
not if you've got a portal gun, bitch.
Well, nobody's got a
No.
fucking portal gun.
I do.
America just sticks it on.
Pre-deliver your stock a couple days early. It's
Yeah,
fine.
but then they've got more leaks and everything else, aren't there? Like,
It's already leaked.
yeah, it's true.
We're gamers. We just want to play the damn thing. Give it to us. We're giving you money.
Yeah.
Fine, it's a draw.
Yes. Okay. That was good. That's good debating skills. And we have to actually acknowledge Miss Rona, because I think Miss Rona has had a big influence on the amount of stock that's been available. Apple are even pushing back their usual September phone launch because I would imagine they're having issues with stock as well.
Genuinely think as well, if we lived in a non-COVID world, I don't think the pre-orders would have been as such a disaster, because you'd have had more people going out physically to stores to get stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like that feeling whenever, like, console release day, right? I remember whenever I got my the last one I got in release date was the Project Scorpio version of the Series 1X. Oh my god, their names are so confusing.
They're terrible.
Yeah, so I remember going there and like you walk out your bag and everything, you're like, oh my god, I've got my new console. It's so different. That feeling, like from an age of where, whenever you were a kid and you go to like a games store or whatever, on your birthday or whatever, and you get a game as a treat or whatever, that feeling of physically making the purchase yourself, like you've achieved something there. I personally, as probably a generational thing, I don't feel the same kick out of something being posted through my letterbox or handed to me at my door. I'll be really excited when I unbox it, but
I get that, but I always get this like dreaded anxiety afterwards as well. So like, I'm really happy when I get there and I pick up, like, say if this is a normal world and I pre-ordered my PlayStation 5 and I went to the store and I picked it up and I got it, I'd be like super excited, and as soon as I left the store, dread and anxiety would come over me, like somebody's gonna rob me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
if somebody's
put
gonna
under
take
your
it away
shirt.
from me. Like, I have this every time I go out and buy anything expensive. Like when I bought my MacBook a few years ago, I walked out the Apple store like, oh my god, I've got a MacBook finally, and then it was like, quick, Uber, get me a taxi, somebody's gonna rob me. Like, I just have this dread and anxiety that like before I'm even gonna be able to enjoy it, somebody's gonna rob it from me. So I'm actually quite excited to get it delivered to my house.
I do remember whenever I got PS3 in launch, and it was a midnight launch that Game did in Manchester, and you were stood outside and you queued up, and oh my god, the excitement was real. And then I got out of the store, I couldn't get anybody to go with me, I was on my own, I was out of the store, and it's a bit dodgy out the back of where that is, and I was like, this is before Uber, and I was like, Black Cab! Black Cab! Black Cab! Get me home!
Quick before I get robbed.
That was before I had my portal gun.
Yeah.
Right. Let's move on to what I think is probably going to be the most exciting part of the podcast, because tech specs and everything, they're good, but like,
Blech.
yeah, this is, for me, this is what the pull is to a console. I don't know, like, we all wanted all singing and dancing and shiny and being able to do like the best graphics, etc., but there's not really been much in any of that. Both releases have been a bit of, for pre-orders, have been a bit of a piss take, really. Price points are sort of the same. This is where it gets really interesting and different now. This is their release titles and services and what we're going to see in the future, hopefully. So let's start with Xbox this time.
Oh no, I haven't got the notes up. Hang on.
Oh, okay, let's start with PlayStation then.
Okay, so not much is changing with the old PlayStation, so we're still going to need a PlayStation Plus subscription for your online play. I would imagine, even though they've not given the information yet, we're still going to be getting a couple of games free each month, and I don't think we'll see any pickup on PS5 titles until probably the end of next year. Just like with the original conversion, you'd get a couple of PlayStation 3 games. And there wasn't much in the way of PlayStation 4 titles. Backwards compatibility, see, this is where it gets a little bit like a bit of a sore point. So
Danger, Will Robinson,
Yeah.
danger!
So yes, the PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4 for 99% of their games. They've not listed a full brief, but they've said that it's going to work with 99% of the current gen's catalogue of games. And it is backwards compatible with PSVR. However, when I saw the 360 view of the PlayStation 5, I was like, where is that freaking hole for the PlayStation camera? Like, because it's got that weird, if anyone's got a PSVR or a PlayStation camera, it's got this weird proprietary square block hole that you stick it into, and that's not on the PS5. So I went trawling around looking for information on this. The VR will work with it, but they will need an adapter for it.
Oh, this is like the Xbox Series X.
How you get one of these adapters, I don't know. I feel like, you know, when Mac changed from just having all the ports to just USB-Cs, I feel like we're heading into a dongle version of PlayStation 5. But I don't know. There's going to be some sort of thing, but they've not released any information on that. Streaming services, we're assuming that remote play is going to continue. There's been no information on that at the moment. So PlayStation has its own little version where you can stream from your console direct. Works on all the platforms, so you can get it on your PC, Android and iOS. It doesn't breach any of iOS's terms and services, so you can use it because it's just from your own personal console. And there is going to be the PlayStation Now as well, which is their paid game library, which has got PlayStation 2, 3 and 4 games on there, which is PlayStation's very quiet version of Game Pass, which I actually had a look at the other day, and you can pick it up for £59 I think it is, for a full 12 months, and there's about 300 to 400 games on there, like,
Okay.
and there's actually a lot of really good games on there, and I didn't realise that they've quietly been making a lot of background changes to it to get a lot of titles and stuff on there, so I'm actually thinking about picking up a year's membership for 50 quid, like, or 60 quid, why not? Price of a game.
So, is Buster Groove on there?
I don't know.
The all-important question. You didn't look?
I mean, I can have a look now.
Yeah, please do have a look. Yeah. Jesus, he didn't even check for Buster Groove. My
Oh,
God.
what the
I mean, what sort of researcher
Really?
are you? My God.
You're supposed to do the work for all of us.
Yeah.
If it's on there, I'll be like, oh my God, I'm still getting that. To be fair, I do have my PlayStation 2 that'll run that game, and I still have my memory cards from like all my Kingdom Hearts save games, all my Final Fantasy save games. They're all there. I have them.
And I can't see any Buster Move here. I'm sorry.
No Buster Groove. Buster Move's the Bubble Poppy one.
Oh, Buster Groove. There's no Bust anything.
Oh, well,
No
they can
busting.
bust off.
Yeah. But
That's
recent things
terrible.
they've got just added on there: Resident Evil 7, WWE 2K19, Final Fantasy 15, Observation, Hitman 2, Greed 4, Dead Cells, Hello Neighbor, Street Fighter 5, Watch Dogs 2, Metro Exodus, Dishonored 2, and NASCAR Heat 4. So they're all new additions to the service, and literally when you go on there, so it's got more than 800 games.
Is that 801?
Yeah, probably. And it's got things like,
psychological, isn't it?
yeah, they've got Doom, Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Solid, Mafia 3, Last of Us, Uncharted 3, Bloodborne, Rocket League, Batman 3 Lego version. There's like a lot of games on there.
Yeah.
And I don't think that actually gets enough attention as it should do, because Xbox Game Pass seems to get all the bells and the whistles.
Well, on that note, Llama, Xbox.
I have my note.
Yay!
So, I wanted to double check this, and I'm seeing not conflicting, but some stuff that's a bit more vague than others. But what I think we're at in terms of online gameplay for the Xbox Series X is that they've been winding down the Xbox Live Gold subscription, and that's the one that you need in order to play online.
Yes.
So earlier, a couple months ago, they stopped doing the 24 or the 18-month and the 24-month pass, and now it's only monthly that you can do. So
Yep.
what it seems like is that they're going to actually get rid of the Xbox Live Gold, and then playing online becomes a free part of the service that you get
Yes.
from Xbox, which is really good because actually, having to pay just to play online when I'm already paying for the console and the game and the broadband to get me online is a bit of a piss take. So it'll be good to see that go. It'd be a bit sad though because you get the games with gold where you get like the discounts on the one sort of good game and like maybe two indie games that you'll have never thought of before, and there's some real gems in there sometimes.
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely.
it's a good place to like find something new. So that'll be a bit sad. I don't know if that's going to be rolled into Game Pass. But on backwards compatibility, so yeah, Xbox Series X is going to be backwards compatible all the way back to games on the Xbox, the Xbox 360, and the Xbox One. So full backwards compatibility, which is amazing. It means I can get Naughty Bear back out, hopefully. So I'll be a little excited about that.
Beauty, check the list whilst we talk about this. Check the list.
No, I don't want to know. I'm just going to assume that it's going to work. That's how I like to do life. Just assume it's going to work. So the Game Pass is the my favorite part of Xbox. It's like the PlayStation one you were talking about. You pay a subscription fee, you get access to this whole library. Now they've recently said that they're going to include the EA Pass into Game Pass, which means you're going to get access to a lot more games. And there's already, hundreds of games on there, like AAA games as well. And now you're going to get the EA games added into that. So Game Pass is definitely the way to go. And the cool thing about Game Pass now is that with the next gen console, you can actually just buy the Game Pass, don't buy a console at all, and just stream it straight onto your PC. So you don't actually need a console with this next gen console, which I think is the beauty of the Xbox offering. That's my favorite part.
Doesn't work on
And in
iPhone
terms-
though.
What?
Doesn't
It's
work
because
on
iPhone's
iPhone.
shit.
Well, this is it. That's a bit of a sore point for me as well.
Yep.
So the next episode where we talk about iPhone versus Android.
I currently don't have Game Pass, or I do most of my the last gen has been mostly Xbox. I got a PlayStation towards the end because I want to play some of the exclusives. I'm actually quite impressed with the PlayStation, PlayStation 4. So yeah, but I've not really committed to any of the online services because I'm like, well, I only really play games that I'm really interested in because I'm quite busy a lot of the time. So I like to pick my game and get into it and finish it and then move on to the next game.
Yeah.
Dig.
See, I did.
How many games have you got in your to be played pile, Beardy?
Let's not talk about that. So I did what you did, Tiggs, but the other way around. So I was always a PlayStation person. I had the original PlayStation, PS2, PS3, PS4, and maybe just over a year ago I picked up an Xbox One S. So I had to really think about making sure that I got the name right. The reason I picked it up was because it was Black Friday or around the Christmas kind of holiday sales. I wanted to buy a controller for my PC, and I wanted to buy a copy of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for my console, and I wanted the deluxe edition, which was like 60 quid, a controller which was like another 60 quid, so it was like 100 and something pounds, and then they had an Xbox One S on sale for like £180 or something, so I just was like, hey, I'll just throw an extra 20 quid in and get a completely new console. So I did that, and I again, flip side, I've been very impressed with Xbox so far, with its backwards compatibility, with Game Pass, with its little bells and whistles, even down to like setting up the console. I know it's probably similar now on PlayStation if I was to buy a new PlayStation, but with the Xbox it was like, hey, you've bought this Xbox, download this app onto your phone and give us all the information there while we set up the Xbox. So I just downloaded the app, I put all my details in, and it set everything up. Like I
That's awesome.
didn't need to get the controller out and click around or anything like that. So that was a really cool experience. I'm looking forward to see what happens with PlayStation 5 with the setup. I wonder if they're going to do something similar there where you download a PS5 app and you put all your details in and it just sets it up in the background. I don't know, we'll see. But I was really impressed with the UI and stuff. There's still bits that I don't like about Xbox, like I don't like their home screen. I find it really fidgety when I'm trying to do something. I think it's screenshot / video recording abilities is pretty pants and probably not much better than the Nintendo Switch on that side of things. Like you can only record like 30 seconds or a minute or something, or just about take a screenshot, whereas on PlayStation you can record like up to an hour's worth of gameplay and other bits and bobs.
Yeah, I think you can get up to 5 minutes, but that's one thing that I forgot to mention. On the new Xbox, the new controller's been slightly revamped, so it's got a more tactile D-pad, sort of like the Xbox Elite controller.
Yeah.
Which I always look at with envy from afar because that's never on sale. I can't afford that. But it's also got a button on it for screenshots and video sharing, like the PlayStation does, which is something I've always been really annoyed about on Xbox.
Yeah,
because
me too.
Because I take a lot of screenshots and things for all my social media. You have to press the big white button in the middle, and then it comes thing, and then you got to press Y, and it's just a pain in the ass. And
Yeah.
You
just
know you
having a
can tell
one-button
Alexa
click
to do that, right?
My Alexa is just a sassy biatch. She hardly ever does what I tell her.
Girl,
She'll
I'm
question
Irish.
me
She
for an
doesn't
hour, and by that
understand me
point,
half
the
the
screen's
time.
gone. She said, "What's he saying?"
He's like, what? What? Take a screenshot. She's turned on the light. And
Yeah.
I'm like, tell the Xbox to take a screenshot. Turn on the light. When did I say living room? I said bloody screenshot, bitch.
She goes,
know
"You know,
your
I can
role."
connect to your Xbox if you just tell me connect to Xbox." Like, I just said that.
Yeah.
Sorry, rant. Alexa.
Speaking of controllers, I'm pretty excited for the PlayStation 5's new controller with its haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. That's going to be pretty cool. So,
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally, yeah. So the haptics, apparently, like, if you're playing a driving game, you're going to be able to feel like you're going through the mud, depending on
Yeah.
what wheels are in. So if your right wheels are in the mud, then the right side of your controller will feel different to the left side, which is pretty cool. And then the triggers, like, they keep using it and it's pissing me off, but it's the only analogy that I can really come out with, which is when you're drawing a bow, like, the trigger will get tighter the further back that you're pulling the bow.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty excited to see how that works out in games as well. By the way, Tiggs, we've been told that your cat is really cute by Davester.
Ah, thanks, Dave. So
Aw.
that's Gigi. He's got camera shy now. He appears in
Gigi-
all my work video calls.
Yep.
He's
So
my little friend. So there is something that we maybe didn't talk about, which there was one piece of the PlayStation launch that was a surprise.
Did it launched?
No,
oh,
at the very start of the last promo, the night before they went live, Final Fantasy 16 PlayStation exclusive.
yeah. I mean, maybe we shouldn't really talk about exclusives, seeing as though Bethesda and that, you know.
Well, this is the other thing I was going to ask about. So, first of all, let's talk about Final Fantasy 16 exclusive. I'm excited about this game. I nearly creeped myself whenever I watched it.
Al Creamy.
Because El Creamy is back in the house. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. So, I love you for giving that gift to us.
You're welcome.
So, thank you so much. Right. So, Final Fantasy for me sort of lost it from 12 onwards. Like, I know a lot of people have different. I played some of 13, I did enjoy it. I forgot that I needed to level really hard and got stuck in something and then stopped that. But for me, it was 7 through 10 2. And whenever I saw I played the demo for 15 and everything, but whenever I saw the like FMV for 16, I was like, oh my god, we're going back to like this age where it's like magic and, you know, like old time setting. And I'm like, oh my god, this is what I want from a Final Fantasy. Please just do the combat system right. If they use the Final Fantasy VII remake combat system, I'll be happy with that, because it's sort of like a nice little hybrid between the worlds of, you know, turn-based combat and live action combat. So I thought that was really exciting for PlayStation to have that exclusive wise and put it in the launch. The only one thing that my brother commented to me on whenever we were chatting away about it all whilst we were watching was, why is that being run on a PC? And I was like, probably because they've not even started making it properly. It is Square Enix. It will be 10 years later.
I would hazard a guess that it's running on a PC because it's still in dev mode. So all those, any game that you get those first visual trailers and it'll say at the bottom like in-engine footage or something, that's running on a PC. So I wouldn't really worry about it too much. It's just part and parcel of the development cycle of video games. But I do think it's cool. A Final Fantasy doesn't surprise me as some sort of timed exclusive or an exclusive game because it has had such a synonymous history with PlayStation, just like
Agreed.
with Resident Evil or Silent Hill or Metal Gear Solid. Like there are certain franchises that will never get away from where they were founded, and I think even though Final Fantasy came out in like SNES time, I don't think it really started to take off until, was it 7 came out on PlayStation 1?
Yeah, 7 sort of redesigned the whole genre whenever that came out, so it was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, so I think from that point, it's just, for me, Final Fantasy will always be a PlayStation game. So I'm not surprised, and I am actually looking forward to it. I'm going to dabble into Final Fantasy 15, I think, because I've not really played any Final Fantasy games. So I'm just going to add that into my fucking list of 700 and something plus games to play. Like,
go with the 7 remake.
Yeah. Well,
go with that first.
I'm still working on playing through the original 7, so let's see how that goes first.
Oh my god, you're gonna have so much fun. I love some of the characters. We need to talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, but I think Xbox buying ZeniMax is an interesting proposition that I think we should probably go through a little bit, but I reckon it could be its own episode.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong, but I think what sums it up for me, and I know we talked about this on the Discord, Beardy, is that the way Xbox, Microsoft in particular, are going about not completely moving away from the console model, but making it more flexible so that you don't actually need the console model. They're being more flexible. They're being more future forward. I think they're probably going to take the same approach when it comes to the IPs that they've been acquiring lately. And, like you said, I think it's going to be maybe a timed exclusive on Game Pass for a month or so, and then it releases wide to other consoles because they don't want to cut their market. And let's be fair, games, like we all want to play the games on every console. I know I pretend to be like a vehement Xbox girl, but I actually don't care as long as I can play a good game. I don't care what I'm playing it on.
But I think
they'll probably go down that route.
I think Xbox has spent the last 7 years really figuring out what it wants to be. Does it want to be in competition with PlayStation or with another console, or does it want to do its own thing? And I think that's a really exciting thing about this next generation, is that they are seemingly doing their own little thing. So Xbox is doing its thing, PlayStation's doing its thing. And Xbox is more about the services. It's about Game Pass, it's about xCloud, it's about offering different entry points into its market so people can play video games and just have a good time. In terms of ZeniMax and Bethesda and all that kind of stuff, I don't think it's going to end up being exclusive. I think they will work on exclusive IPs, so they may create a new thing by Bethesda or by I forgot the other name now. The other companies
Obsidian.
in then. No, not Obsidian.
ZeniMax.
Under ZeniMax, who was the Max?
Hopefully TJ. I want Llama to be in there soon. Like, just pay me to play your games. That's
Tango. So Tango Gameworks, Machine Games, Arcane. I think id Software.
Arcane,
I think they'll do maybe new games or new IPs that will be console exclusive to Xbox or come onto PC as well. But I don't think you're going to see Fallout become just an Xbox game. I don't think you're going to see Doom become just an Xbox game, because it makes people buy Game Pass. In terms of, if I'm on PlayStation and they release Doom 3, do I go and spend $70 or £70 on a game on my PlayStation 5, or do I sign up for Game Pass at £15 a month and play that game and other games and not have to worry about that overhead?
Well, this is it, and they're bringing out a lot of the games on day one or just preload as well beforehand. But I do think that, well, I don't know, like in my opinion, like I am sort of switching over now. I used to be PlayStation. Well, back in the day, I used to be N64, really. And then, you know, Nintendo went and did its own thing. I've always had Nintendo consoles throughout my life, but it's always been, you've always had to have something else as well, I think. So I was PlayStation. After PlayStation 3, which I thought was not the greatest endeavor, I switched to Xbox. And then now, coming to the end of this console cycle, I'm switching back. So the first next gen console I'm going to get is going to be a PlayStation. And for me, it's just the exclusives that PlayStation have. Like God of War blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Final Fantasy VII a year early, which was also a great game. And there's certain things.
This is what I mean. PlayStation knows how to use its teraflops.
It knows how to use its teraflops, girl, and it's not afraid to use them. But there's certain things that they did were clever, like Death Stranding, like the control pad and the BB, and the actual sound coming out where you're playing. You're like, oh shit, my BB's going mad. The first time I did it, I was like, shit, scared the shit out of me. I was like, I had my lights turned off. It was at night time. I started to play Death Stranding, and then heard this noise, and I like totally freaked out. Gigi ended up jumping off me and running over the other side of the room because I was like totally freaking out, going, where the fuck's this noise coming from? Because I hadn't played a game that had that feature. And we had a whole moment at 12 o'clock on a Friday night, just three of us going, where's this baby noise coming from?
Where's my baby?
Where's my baby at?
So yeah, they do some quite like little clever, ingenious things, but like the exclusives they have. So I'm sort of hoping, like for Xbox sec, that because a lot of people go into PlayStation for the exclusives, like that they do something with the Bethesda buy, whether it's an original IP or something in the vein maybe of one of the games that they've got already that's a AAA, just to give them, because that's what I found was lacking in the last gen. I was primarily Xbox, and all the exclusives that I wanted to play were coming out in PlayStation, and I felt a bit bitter about that, to be honest. In fact, really quite fucking bitter about it.
The last 5 minutes haven't shown that at all. No, I get you because I love the Xbox, I love the Game Pass. I haven't had a PlayStation since PlayStation 2, just because of circumstance, but there have been some really great exclusives that I've missed out on, or that I've had to get my mate to buy and be like, can I play it? Can I play it at your house? Come on, you know you want it, let's play it now.
Well, I think...
because they're not on Xbox.
Well, I think really that speaks to one of the little features that is coming as part of a PlayStation Plus collection in the new console section. So
ooh, do tell.
I will do. But shall we start off with, speaking of exclusives, shall we start off with the lineup for the next games?
Yeah, you start first because I gotta bring up the list again.
Yeah, well, I've got quite a long list, so you know.
Oh god, I'm just going for coffee.
So PlayStation.
Make it entertaining.
You're looking at first party, yeah, from PlayStation 5. So PlayStation Studios. You've got Astro's Playroom, which is going to be on every single PlayStation 5, which is the little Astrobot. I don't know if any of you played it. Astrobot missions, rescue missions, VR missions, whatever it is. It's a cute little thing. It's basically a game, a platformer puzzle that's going through every generation of PlayStation. So it's like you're this little robot inside a PlayStation 5 going through the history of PlayStation. So there's like a level which is going over like PlayStation 4's heating system. So it's kind of taking the piss out of itself. So you've got to try and cool the PlayStation 4 down, like by completing these like puzzles and stuff. So that's going to be pretty cool. And obviously it's going to take
kind of funny.
yeah, going to be taking full advantage of the new controller, which I'm pretty excited to play. Second launch title, we've got Demon Souls, which is a remaster or remake of a old PlayStation 3 game where the whole Soulsborne kind of gaming started, which I'm pretty sure Sif is going to be super fucking excited for.
He is super fucking excited for.
And this thing
We've
looks...
spoken about it at length.
Yeah, this thing looks so pretty, and I might even try and do it. Even though I'm terrible at Soulsborne games, I think I might try and pick this up at some point.
Please, can you Twitch that?
Yeah,
I
we'll
wanna
do.
see that.
Destruction Old Stars. So I don't really know much about this game, but from what I understand, it's like Rocket League, but like with destroying things, like blowing shit up. So that might be fun. You got the big one, the big release, which is Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, which looks fucking amazing. Let's not like talk too much about the controversy of the PlayStation 4 remastered version that they're bundling in there in the special edition that you can't buy on its own, and you're not going to get a free upgrade. But we'll just pass that. That's nothing. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, oh Llama, so much shade this week about that.
Sackboy, a big adventure as well. So if anyone's played the Little Big Planet games, this little Sackboy is getting his own first spin-off, which is going to be another platformer, kind of in the whole Mario-esque vibe of collecting things.
Who doesn't
and going
love
around.
playing with your sack?
Exactly, I love playing with my Sackboy. Third parties, it's to be expected. So you got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I've got pre-ordered because I love me some Assassin's Creed. Cyberpunk 2077.
The Valhalla one's supposed to be really good.
It looks so good. Cyberpunk 2077, even though that does launch sooner on other consoles, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. It is coming on launch with the PlayStation 5. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Godfall, Fortnite, Maneater, Observer System Redux, and Watchdog Legion. So they're all going to be available at launch of PS5. But I'm not finished there.
76?
I'm not finished there.
Oh god.
We've also got the PlayStation Plus collection. So I think
You're not
this
reading
is
100 games.
no. I think this is a really good thing. So for anybody that missed out on PlayStation 4 and is picking up a PlayStation 5 and gets that PlayStation Plus, day one you're going to be able to play the classic PlayStation 4 games that everybody's loved this generation. So it's going to be Battlefield 1, Batman Arkham Knight, Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, God of War 2018, Infamous Second Son, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat 10, Persona 5, Ratchet & Clank, Resident Evil 7, The Last of Us Remastered, The Last Guardian, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and Until Dawn. So they're some of the biggest games from PlayStation and its exclusives that you're going to be able to play day one on PlayStation 5 if you missed out. And I think that's pretty good.
Wait, is Fallout 76 on this list?
No. But it's going to be there, backwards compatible.
Where am I going to grief people?
Don't know, but it's
You
not...
can't grief in Fallout 76 anymore anyway.
There's a new glitch. I can grief certain people certain ways.
Oh god.
So I
found
think
a grief
that
loophole.
is a pretty big list of games that you're going to be able to play day one. New games.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I'd say that is a pretty impressive list. My researcher has clearly not written down all the games in my column because my column
Oh, but I have.
way in than your column.
Oh, but I have.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fake news. Fake news.
No, come on.
So on the Xbox.
Oh my god, you really haven't, have you?
No, you see this list, Steven. So first party launch titles, we've got Gears Tactics and Gears 5. And then when we come to the third party launch titles, we've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla because everybody loves a gay scene with the Valhalla Viking. Cyberpunk 2077, which we'll be able to play at our leisure before it comes to PlayStation. Dirt 5, Godfall, Observer System Redux. I haven't heard of that one. Watch Dogs Legion, Yakuza, Destiny 2, Beyond Light, Call of Duty Black Ops, Devil May Cry 5, Fortnite, and Man Eater. That song's stuck in my head now.
I actually have that song too.
Right? And then there's a whole box here that says Other, and mine's just empty. But we've got Game Pass, and there's a shit ton of games on Game Pass.
You literally just deleted that. I saw that.
I didn't delete anything.
You can't.
The other. No, there was never anything in there. The other section was just because, like, the PlayStation Plus collection.
Just a blank screen.
Yeah, the PlayStation Plus collection is a new thing for PlayStation 5, and Xbox doesn't have anything that's similar. So
it's unfair to compare the two like for like, is what you're saying?
I mean, I'm just giving the peeps the information.
But the Xbox has Game Pass, so everybody be able to play Gears 5 on release day for free if you already have Game Pass.
But
for free.
Sounds true to me.
Yeah, but like Gears 5 is a game that's what, 2 years old now?
I don't know. I've not played it.
And Gears Tactics has been on PC for like what, 6 months now or something?
Yeah, I have to say, like, let's face it, on the for Spider-Man, that's exclusive. PlayStation do have more exclusives there.
Yeah.
But
and
then
Halo's been back.
Yeah, that was a big kick in the nuts, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because that was supposed to be the whole.
The only new game that they had to launch the new console with was pushed back.
Well,
Gears 5 was released on the 6th of September 2019. And
I got
Tactics,
confused there. I thought there was a new Gears coming out.
Gears Tactic was released this year, and it's just come. It came in April to PC, and it's only just coming to Xbox this fall. So
yeah, so it's new to me. I'm alright with hand-me-down games as long as they're good.
Yeah, true.
The only thing,
and we've got Game Pass, which has got all the good games for all the cheap prices. So,
And what's coming in the future for them? Like, what have we got anything new?
Well,
coming out in the next year or so.
I didn't put a list together of what's coming out in the next 12 months because it's a little bit confusing. Because there's this whole like launch window. Who knows what that is? Is that a couple of weeks after launch? Is it 6 months after launch? Who knows? But you've got the usual suspects: Resident Evil 8. You've got the Ghostwire Tokyo. You've got the Stray. You've got lots of other little games that are coming out. We just don't know what the release dates or schedules are for that. So I kind of thought it's a bit pointless because otherwise we're just going to end up with a huge list of games that we don't know when they're coming out next year or if they're coming out next year.
I'm excited for Avowed though. That one looks good on Xbox.
Yeah.
That's Obsidian's version of Elder Scrolls 6 because how many more times can we play Skyrim?
Well,
although, slight segue, there's a new mod for Skyrim called Skyblivion, where they've remade Oblivion into Skyrim, and that's in almost the final stages of dev now, but you can see it on YouTube and it looks fucking amazing. I'm gonna play Skyblivion.
I love how like you have to go back and repatch Skyrim to get a good new Bethesda game.
The creation community are the ones that build those games, because let's be honest, they didn't get the name Bugthesda for nothing. And I do hope that having the backing of Microsoft now will mean that they take their time and do the games properly. They don't need to rush them. Just stop putting out shitty games, great games full of shitty bugs.
That is the only saving grace of this purchase, is that I think that Microsoft, Phil Spencer is probably going to come in and be like, listen, you're affiliated with us now.
We're fired.
Yeah, and if Todd Howard, if you put out a shitty game, you're out of here. Like,
Todd Howard's my mom. I declared it one day and it stuck.
Okay. We
So,
don't question anymore.
I think it's clear to say that PlayStation's won the launch lineup here.
I think
Based
it
on the
depends.
research list that I received, I'd have to agree with that.
I
But I think
think
it was rigged mail-in ballots.
yo. Let's take it back though. We were chatting earlier about the consoles going for different markets. PlayStation does have a load of exclusives that Xbox doesn't have, which is maybe why the Bethesda move happened on Xbox side. Like, because whenever we all heard that, our Discord went a bit crazy about theories about what could possibly happen, and we're not really quite sure until they make an announcement. Potentially, that's one of the reasons.
The Bethesda purchase is going to have been in the talks for the last 12 months. Like, it's not something that's just... Xbox hasn't woke up after seeing the PlayStation pre-orders or the lineup or anything like that and gone, oh shit, we better buy ourselves a new studio. This goes back to all the way to the launch of the Xbox One and the last 7 years of the Xbox's production in terms of first-party games, where they've churned out very little in terms of first-party games and very little games that have turned heads or got headlines, whereas PlayStation's had like just banger after banger with their first party. Marvel Spider-Man, The Last of Us Part 2, Days Gone, Ghost of Tsushima, Bloodborne, like the list goes on of the exclusives that they produced and put out have just been of a certain quality that Xbox just hasn't been able to meet this generation. And as they've gone through this current cycle, they've been slowly collecting software developers and stuff to create these exclusives for Xbox. The only thing is that I kind of feel like Sony has, over the years, cultivated and nurtured its studios in growing them and getting them to produce these things, whereas I feel like Xbox is just kind of like, hey, you kind of do this really well, so we're going to buy you and add you into our flock so that we can use the stuff that you've already put out there that's really good, and then potentially be able to make new stuff that's really good that's going to bolster us. And that's the only thing I kind of don't agree with when it comes down to Xbox's first party studios. I don't really feel like that it's fair to call them first parties, even though they are, because they never grew those companies, those businesses. They just kind of got bought up. That doesn't take away from the company's games or quality or anything like that. I just think that PlayStation has got a tried, true, tested like farm of things that it's kind of put together over the years, all the way back from the PlayStation.
Yeah.
They do exclusives really well.
Yeah,
I'll give PlayStation that hands down.
Yeah.
I mean, Stray is the reason. I was undecided, and I was like, oh, I do like the PlayStation exclusives, and I saw Stray, and I was like, yeah, I'm going PlayStation next generation, kitty cat with backpack. And then I saw God of War announced coming 2021, and I was like, oh my god, yes. Oh god.
You know, in 10 years' time, if things keep going the way they do, what do you think would be the possibility of seeing Xbox Game Pass on a PlayStation?
I don't think it'll happen.
You reckon?
No.
It's becoming more and more a service.
I think
it's becoming hardware agnostic.
I think what's more likely to happen is, in the news this week, I don't know if anyone's seen it, is Amazon's come out with Luna. It's version of streaming software, so it's version of Google Stadia, and the way that they're handling it, I think, is really interesting. So they're going to have they're doing it almost like Netflix. So you're going to have different channels, or almost like Amazon Prime. So when you go into Prime, you've got your different sections. So under movies, you could have your horror titles or whatever. But then you can also go into individual production houses. So you can look at films from MGMT or whatever it's called, and then they'll go in. I think MGMT is actually a band. I think I'm thinking of MGM.
You can get the Shudder channel.
Yeah, the one with the lion. You can go into there, or Lionsgate or something, and you can go in. It'll show you all the films by Lionsgate, and you can sign up to watch those films for an extra £3 a month or whatever it is. Luna seems to be going for the same thing, so they're going to have their Luna Plus, which is going to be a core list of games that you're going to be able to play, a little bit like Game Pass in terms of like The Office is going to have some AAAs in there, some indies, some own grown stuff, all that kind of stuff. And then they're going to continue to add channels. So the first channel that's been added is the Ubisoft channel. And if you pay for that service, you're going to be able to get day and date Ubisoft games. So the new Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs or Phoenix Immortals Rising or Mortals of Phoenix Rising even. All those games are going to come there day and date. And it's controller, screen, jobs are good, and it works across all the platforms, PC, tablets, Android and iPhone, because they're using a web-based browser and not an app, so it doesn't break the iPhone's terms and services. I could imagine seeing an Xbox Game Pass channel on there, and I can also imagine that it will come to TVs, because you have the most modern TVs, 4K smart TVs, have a Bluetooth option, Wi-Fi enabled. I think they're going to be able to connect their proprietary Luna controller to the TV through an Amazon Prime or Amazon Luna style app on the TV. Yeah, without even needing a Fire Stick. You can do it on a Fire Stick, but I mean, just baked into this app within the TV. And I think when that happens, this whole not games as a service, but this whole subscription model is going to change. I think you'll see things like Game Pass on TVs. I think they'll just completely bypass a dongle or anything like that. I think you'll see PlayStation Now on a TV. I think you may even end up seeing the Nintendo Switch Online stuff, where you can get the NES and stuff like that, maybe some sort of Nintendo channel. But I can see Xbox Game Pass being on a Nintendo Switch before it's on a PlayStation.
Agreed. I don't think they'll cross over like that. They wouldn't allow it.
No.
I think as long as the games are good and I can keep my screen name, I've been Llama for years, I don't actually care how I'm playing it. I just want to play it.
Yeah.
I want to be able to play it cross-platform with my friends and chat on party chat with them. Those are my requirements. Make it happen.
Yep.
Someone write a letter.
We'll write a letter from Gaymers Assemble.
So,
dear sir.
So release titles and stuff, I think PlayStation won that, yeah?
I do think they did win.
Yeah, I think they did win.
So overall, what are you going for first out of the next gen? If you're going to collect more than one of the Pokemon available in the next gen series, which one are you going to collect first?
Ooh, well, I've just upgraded my Xbox right at the end of last year, so I've got the Xbox One X, the new generation one, and I'm happy with it, and everything's going to be backwards compatible, and my system is set up pretty optimally, so I don't see the need to upgrade my Xbox yet, especially with all the shenanigans and craziness going on trying to get one. I do, however, want to get the PlayStation. Because I don't have one at the moment. I've generally been a multi-console person, but at the moment I'm not. So I really want that PlayStation. I want those exclusives. I want to be able to play The Last of Us 2. I want to be able to play Death Stranding. And at the moment, unless I'm at a friend's house who has a PlayStation, I can't. So yeah, I'm going to be going for, even though I love my Xbox, I'm going to be going for the PlayStation on this one, simply because Xbox have set it up so that I don't need a new Xbox for this one.
Beardy?
I mean, obviously I'm getting a PlayStation.
But PlayStation first here as well.
I'm gonna get a Series X as well at some point next year.
Oh yeah, me too.
I think when we're looking at this as an overall, we're looking at everything leading up to the launch of these consoles. I don't think you can say Xbox One or PlayStation 1 because they're playing two very different games.
I agree, yeah.
And I don't think that you could actually really fairly compare either of them. I don't think even at the end of this generation, when the PlayStation 6 gets announced and the Xbox Series X, S, X plus 1 has been announced as well.
God, can you imagine? What are they going to fucking name that one?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a very clear way of saying who won. I don't think it's going to be based on console sales, because for Microsoft it's not about the hardware sales, it's about the subscriptions, it's about Game Pass, and if they can get the numbers on that, then for them they've won. Whereas with PlayStation, it's about the hardware sales, and it's about selling those exclusives.
Yep.
And just like I can't remember what the name of the guy was. He came out and spoke about PlayStation's answer to Game Pass, and he said, "Look, it's just not feasible. Like the amount of money that goes into developing our first-party titles, it just wouldn't work to be able to put those on a subscription service." And I think that's really true. I don't think PlayStation could do it. The only thing I wish they would do is integrate PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus together, and kind of do maybe PlayStation
Plus Now.
Now Plus, or whatever it is. So you pay for your PlayStation Plus, which gets you your online access, and you can pay maybe a slightly lower amount, and then you get the version that has PS Now included with it. And I would like them to then do away with the 2 or 3 free games each month, because let's be honest, like the games that you get in there, either they're okay to mediocre games, and by the time you get them on PlayStation Plus, you probably already bought them anyway. So I think they should just maybe just bundle Now into that instead of giving you free games for PlayStation Plus.
Cool.
But yeah, I think there's no way to kind of measure who's won or who's going to lose. I think they're both doing totally different things, and hats off to either of them. And I think if you're a smart person, you're going to probably go and get both, or at least buy one console and buy into the other's ecosystem. If you just want to play cool games.
I think, but in the interest of this episode, I think Llama won. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I think that's true.
I don't think she did. I'm pretty sure it was. So on tech specs,
it's in the show notes.
Tech specs, it was a Xbox win. Release date price was a draw, and then in games and stuff, it was a PlayStation. So that's a draw all out.
But I get the final vote.
But
so
Llama said at the start she was going to win, so sorry.
Yeah, but she also said that she was going to buy a PlayStation 5 before an Xbox Series X, so I kind of think that defers her vote to PlayStation.
Because I don't need an Xbox. That's what's so amazing.
I do think it's very different things. Like people are after different things this next gen, and they are going for very, very different sorts of services, and it won't really be a win or lose anymore. It'll be something different. You may never know. In the next gen, it could be Nintendo back up there competing with PlayStation, as opposed. Well, you don't know, because Xbox are stepping away from that arena. They're going more into the service. We don't know. We haven't heard anything about the next Switch. Only rumors about it being a Pro.
Nintendo's been playing its own game since the GameCube. When they realized that actually, we can't keep up with these two big boys, and we're just going to go off and do our own thing, and it's worked for them since. Apart from the Wii U, it's worked for them.
We don't talk about the Wii U.
We don't talk about the Wii U.
We don't talk about the Wii U.
And the Nintendo Switch has found its own success. And I think, again, I have a Switch. And I love it. I love its portability.
Same.
And I wish that PlayStation did some of the things it does, and I wish that Xbox did some of the things it does, but the beauty of it is that none of them do anything that the other one's doing, so it gives you such a banquet of different playstyles to dine from, and I think that's the most exciting thing about all of this.
Agreed.
Oh, wow. Agreed.
So we all agree I win.
Yep.
Nice.
Llama
Moving
won.
on.
Nice. Okay, so moving on. Now it's time to wrap this puppy up. I want to ask you guys what you've been playing this week, Llama.
Well, as you'll know, we had a bit of a sesh on Spellbreak where we absolutely schooled ourselves mostly. What did you say? How are we griefing ourselves? I think that's
how are we griefing ourselves?
I fell off the map when I was dropping in because I was fucking about in the sky.
That was so funny.
Never forgive Spellbreak for letting me think that I won my first match.
Me too.
I was heartbroken. That first round, I was like, oh, I'm a natural at this. I got talent. Look at me go. First place, 900 damage. Second round, 25th place, 0 damage. I got schooled. And I think the best I've managed since then is, I think I got top 3 once. I think we got top 3 the other night.
Yeah.
Top 5 is the best I've managed on my own, and that was like once.
Oh yeah, my highest damage has been like 382.
Yeah. I don't think I've got that high in real life outside of the bot level. I'm so disappointed. But I've
It
been
was.
playing that for my PvP feels because yeah, Fallout 76 is still a bit of a they've started a new season and I can get new stuff, but I don't like any of the new freebies in that one, so I'm not really that bothered. And the
Wow.
glitch that allows me to grief people only really allows you to grief like one person at a time under very specific circumstances, and it's griefing shouldn't be a grind. It should be a pleasure.
Oh my
And
god.
the
That's
moment
going
it's
in
a
your
grind.
epitaph.
So at the moment that's a grind. So I've been playing Spellbreak. I finished Tell Me Why, chapter 3. That was super duper good. It dealt with some really, really tough subjects, you know, mental health, suicide. It talks a little bit about the main character's transition, but it doesn't really go into too much detail about that. That's more just a sort of side part of the story and
Yeah.
not really the main theme. But I really liked at the end of that game because the last chapter does talk quite a bit about suicide and the impact it has on people around you and the person experiencing those thoughts. At the end of the episode, it comes up with this big screen that says, if you've been affected by anything in here,
Oh,
here's the
that's
number
really
for
good.
the International Suicide Hotline. Here's a website that shows you all the local suicide assistance numbers, or suicide assistance, that's the wrong word. Suicide helplines. You don't need assistance for that.
Oh god.
Just cut that out. Steven, cut that out.
It's
So
great
yeah,
that
I
they've
thought
done
that was
that
really
though.
good.
That is really cool. And games that deal with like different challenges like that people face in their lives, I think are amazing, absolutely fantastic, and it's something that needs to come more into the medium.
Yeah, definitely. And then today I picked up, or yesterday really, I picked up Destiny 2. It's on Game Pass. I've played Destiny 1 religiously for years, had a really active clan, absolutely loved it. Picked up Destiny 2 and I feel like a lost child. Like I have no idea where the main story is, what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just running around on planets doing patrols because I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to be doing. Somebody did reach out to me on social and gave me a tip. Apparently, I need to go speak to Amanda Holiday in the hangar, and she'll give me questions, and then I'll understand what I'm doing. So I'm gonna probably do that this week and do a bit more Spellbreak. I think that's my plan.
I'm down for that.
Yes.
Yes. Beardy, what
What
you
have you
been
been?
playing?
So currently I'm about 84 hours
Oh.
into Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh, God.
Because
How many hours are in that game?
probably not as many as I'm putting into it.
You're doing a lot of hiding.
No, so I have this thing with like the Ubisoft games, you know, like the checkpoint. This is a little area. There's little things to find, like blah blah blah. So I'm playing it in the new version that they want you to do. So you have to discover things naturally, or by searching for things. So rather than just being like, here's a target, go kill it. It's like, this person could be in a temple that's in this region of Greece, and if you speak to this
Oh,
person in
no.
this town, then they may have some information as to where they are. So that's the way that I'm kind of playing it, and I'm playing on hard mode, which means I kind of die a little bit, because I just hate myself. But when it comes to
Well,
a
I have a number for
Ubisoft,
you.
yeah, a Ubisoft tick box exercise, I can't help myself. Like, I'll go into a little region, and I just, before I even go to the story beat for that, I have to just go around and like synchronize the spot, go to this question mark, kill the legendary dog thing that I'm trying to hunt, or go and help this little maid find some whatever it is. Like, I have to do all the things before I move on to the next section, because if I don't, I'll never go back and do it. So yeah, I'm at level 50. I've just hit level 50. I've just finished the Olympics, which I think is pretty much like 70% of the story through. But I'm like, last time I checked, it was like 84 hours into it, which is probably far longer than it needs to be. But I've still got like the 2 or 3 DLCs to get through as well. So by the time I finish this game, I'm probably going to put 150 plus hours into it. But I want to get it boxed off before Valhalla comes, because Valhalla is the like closing point to the trilogy. Is that right? Trilogy.
No, but
trilogy.
I love it. It should be.
Trilogy.
It's a trilogy.
The trilogy
That's a thing.
of Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. So they're wrapping it up in Valhalla. So I just want to make sure I know everything that I need to know from these 2 games. Even though Assassin's Creed isn't that much about its lore and its modern day story and stuff anymore, but I just kind of feel like I need to do that. I've also been playing My Friend Pedro on the old Game Pass.
The banana thing.
There's the banana thing, yeah. So you play like, it's kind of like, I don't know, if The Matrix was imagined while you're tripping on drugs, like it's that kind of thing. So you've got this friend called Pedro who is a floating banana, and he tells you about stuff, and you're trying to hunt down these drug lords and all the rest of it, and you go, and it's like side scrolly, like Max Payne-y. You slow down time and you aim the guns and shoot the peeps and try and like get through the level without dying, and it's a lot of fun. So I've been playing that, which is pretty cool. And I've also been getting my Star Wars fix, because I am a huge Star Wars nerd, and been playing Vader Immortal, which was originally launched on the Quest Oculus, and basically you play as a smuggler that's got some sort of backstory to Jedi abilities and stuff. You end up on Mustafar in Vader's castle, and you're trying to help him bring Padme back to life by finding this artifact that's been hidden. So I've been playing through that, and it's probably my favourite Star Wars game at the moment, which is probably quite a big announcement to make, because KOTOR was my favourite Star Wars game. But the whole idea of just like being in this world and looking down, I can see my lightsaber, I can turn my lightsaber on, and I can fight people, is just winning it for me. So yeah.
Do you know what? I'm almost thinking about pushing off my purchase of a PlayStation to get an Oculus instead, because the games and the experience that I'm seeing from people, it looks like that might actually be something I need to experience first before I go to PlayStation.
I mean, you could just get PSVR and a dongle.
Yeah.
And a dongle that I don't know how it exists and how much it's gonna, like another 300 quid.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're gonna go VR, PlayStation VR's okay. I know that Oculus is probably the standard at the minute, and the Quest 2 is coming out soon. And I know a lot of people that I watch, so the guys over at Kind of Funny Games, they talk about the Quest, and it's like completely wireless, and the freedom that brings in being able to just pick up VR and just play it, whereas every other kind of iteration of VR requires a lot of setup and stuff. So having the cameras and the poles and the wires and stuff, like, but I think maybe next PlayStation VR 2 is going to be a wireless system, but that's so far away.
Far
That would explain why there's no hole for it if it's all going to be wireless.
Yeah. Don't need a hole when it's wireless.
Right.
What have you been playing, Tiggs?
So some Spellbreak. I've also started Rocket League, because that became free last week, and my brothers play it like constantly. I avoided this game because it's football, and I don't really like football. But I found out that it is so much more than football, and I get so involved whenever I'm playing this game. And I mean, seriously involved. I am screaming at the TV. There are profanities coming out of my mouth, which usually doesn't happen whenever I game. Very rare. Well, it does very rarely happen. Oh my god! It was like I was being like possessed last week with them, and so much so my brothers were laughing their tits off and going, "Oh my god, what the hell has happened to you?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's the magic of Rocket League." So, those of you that think this is a football game, it's not. It's actually really entertaining. A lot of good fun. Yes, it is football. You're putting balls in nets. But it's just It's just hilarious. And you see, if you've got the people to play it with, it's fun. It's free to play now. It's not going to cost you anything. Get out there, give it a go. And I have also played the other night. I've literally just started. Is Never Alone. I think it's called. It is.
What this?
Huh?
What this?
It's an awesome little indie game. It's about like Eskimo girl, and she goes away and Inuit, yes, an Inuit girl, and she goes away and from her village because there's all these storms happening. She goes away from her village, then the village gets set on fire. I'm not going to say any more. And then the story, but it's told in their language and it's subtitled, right? And I'm not a subtitled person.
I've seen the previews for this.
Oh, guys, I can't begin to explain to you how cool a little game this is, right? So it was a few hours in. I was having a bit of a weird day on Monday, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Got all restless. And then I was like, right, this is on. I got this in Games of Gold. I've always wanted to play it. I'm going to sit down and play it. And it's one of those ones that whenever you start to play it, the storyline is just so cool, and the way they've done it is really, really class. I love the fact that it's in their native language and that you are reading it. You have to read the subtitles, and usually I hate subtitles. And you pick up these little things along the way that tell you the lore behind, you know, the making of the game, and they're like little in-game like sort of collectibles. So I can't wait to finish the game to actually watch all of them. It's really, really good. And she's got a little fox friend. And that's all I'm saying. Oh,
and he said, is it on Games with Gold?
It was on Games with Gold. It'll probably be in Game Pass, you know. But
I'm gonna give that one a look up.
It's not really a super long play time. I think 3 to 4 hours. I think it's there to tell a story, and it just tells a story in such a lovely way. And her little fox is so cute, and the puzzles are pretty cute. And you can play 2-player, and you can play couch co-op 2-player if you've got 2 control pads.
Yes, I'm always looking for couch co-op games.
Yeah, so I highly recommend. It is good.
On the list.
Awesome. Okie doke. Well, I think that brings us to the end of another awesome podcast.
Ooh.
We've made it. Okay. Thank you all for watching, listening, or watching. Which you're watching here. You may be watching on YouTube. Tasted. We're palpable. Right. Oh God.
However you may have consumed us, thank you very much.
However you may have consumed us, thank you. Say goodnight, Llama.
Good night, Llama.
Say goodnight, Beardy.
Good night, Beardy.
And I've been Tiggs. You've been amazing. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Turn this up.
When I'm up through the night, I can't turn down the noise. Tear all the worries out of my mind about who I'm supposed to be. I start to believe I can't get it right. Remember the days I let slip away. They were simpler times.